All right, we're live.
Hi, Jesse. Hi.
Hello,
Son
Kevin.
of a bitch. What's going on, pal? How are you?
Chilling. I'm good. How about you? I'm good.
Good, man. You get the sitter all set up with the baby?
Yeah, I did, man. I have to come on this podcast now so you can get all these Mets fans to, get off my ass.
Oh, that's not happening. That's not
I
going to
got a
happen.
daughter
You have
now,
two
and, it's just my responsibility.
huge miscalculation.
Huh?
If you think this is going to get Mets fans off of you, you have totally miscalculated. This is only the beginning, Winker.
No, I appreciate
My
it.
first question.
I love it.
The hell do you get off this good, dude? That's the main problem. You were, when we first started this thing, you first coming up. Now you're just fucking good. That's a problem for me and my Mets fan.
I figured with time, with growth, with maturation, we could develop like a friendship maybe. I guess that's out of that's not a possibility. I was hoping to come on here and we could talk about multiple of other things besides this waving situation, but I guess not. So I I was hoping we could talk about the Jets maybe. I follow from a distance. I'm not big on social media, but I follow from a distance. I see what you do, and I'm a big fan of the 1 Minute Man. I support the cause, but
all right.
I guess I'm just coming into a minefield here still.
Now, to be fair to Jesse, like Kevin said, he's like, how do you get off being this good on us? We were like, who's this Jesse Winker guy killing us in 2019? He's waving to us. He's breaking our hearts. We're like, this guy's some no name for the Midwest. He's like 25 years old, just got called up. Like, he was like pretty fresh, and he was good from basically day one. And all the Reds fans like, no, he's good. And we're like, we were gabagool Yankee fans on this one, right? Like, we're like, look at this Winker guy. He has a funny name, and he's waving to us. Jesse Winker, you're a fucking all-star. You're fucking good. And you shoved it up our ass back in 2019, which, by the way, that first time he had a big home run against us to like take the lead. That was before we realized Edwin Diaz stunk in 2019. Because we're like, oh my God, he got the Diaz. That was May 1st. And then we realized Edwin Diaz stunk. So it was a completely different, belly of the beast that we went through.
It was a different time for sure. When you decided to wave, like, is that something you've done with other? Is that something you've done with other guys, or was that strictly a Mets thing? Was that a one-time thing? Is this always how you roll? Because I thought it was great. I loved it.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it's not a every time we win thing. I promise you that. I think the last time I did it before that in 2019 was against West Orange High School when I was in high school. I'm sure there was when you're playing left field and there's fans on you all game, all series, there's times where the stadium's really loud. There's a constant buzz. You don't really hear them. And then there's times where there might not be as many people there. It might be a rain game. I think that day it was cold as hell. It was raining. So why would people be at the Mets-Reds game in April, right? So I could hear everybody behind me. And, New York, it wasn't nice things. They weren't telling me how good I looked or, how. So it was one of those things that instead of like catching the ball and saying anything, I just waved. It kind of came out. And bro, what are the odds that the next day a ball is hit down the left field line and I catch it and slide and it's like the perfect, follow up to it.
Yep.
And that one was kind of like scripted. I was like, okay, if it happens again, I kind of have to do it. Like I couldn't let you win. And then you guys ultimately won because I got ejected.
That is the one that's amazing. The fact that you get kicked out and everyone waves by. Perfect.
So if I come from, so I'm the youngest brother. All right, I have two oldest brothers. So talking shit has been a staple in my household my whole life. It's been over ping pong, over Madden, over wiffle ball, over whatever, bro. Whatever you could talk shit about. So it's something like I grew up doing. and it took on a life of its own. And I was not prepared for it. What came next? I'm not cyber talented as you guys are. Like, I'm not as cyber talented as you guys are, and I didn't know the following that was coming for my neck the course of 3 years. And it's been hilarious. Like, I do my best. Like, I go through windows where I'll just kind of get away from social media.
Smart.
And my brothers will kind of run it for me, and they do a great job. But there'll just be like a random like December day. I'll wake up like December 2nd, and I'll be like, I'm going to go see what's going on Instagram, go check out, some whatever, clothes, shoes, and I'll just get waving emojis. It's like December 2nd, 2020. Innocent, like an innocent Tuesday. I'm just waking up, making an omelet, and here comes the city field, whatever the bleacher creatures are called, whatever you guys call yourselves. Here they go.
Yeah, man. Like that was the most proud I've been of Mets fans, because at least as far as I know, I'm sure some guys took it too far and said some things they shouldn't say, but for the most part, it seemed like above board, all good, just waving.
It was good. It was good and clean. It was great. Yeah. It was. I think, bro. I mean, we're not going to get hung up on people. Like if there's one guy taking it too far, like that's part of it, right? It's all part of the sport. It's all part of the banter. The craziest part is there was somebody calling my parents' cell phone.
Oh, Jesus.
I do not know how they got my parents' phone number. And that's like, look, if there's anybody I'm not messing with, it's mom and dad wink. I'm telling you right now. They're the ones that I'm not personally. I'm like, look, y'all can have it. I'm not messing with them. But no, it was good, man. I appreciated it. There was a guy. So yesterday, the Mets beat us again yesterday, and they won the series. And I struck out to end the game. And Familia struck me out on a slider or a cutter, I forget. And I'm walking back to to our tunnel, and I look up, and this Met fan goes, "Winker." So I look up, like, because if somebody says your name, it's like, you know,
reflex.
Yeah, you're gonna look.
Yeah.
So I look, and he's just waving, and I'm like,
it'll never stop, man. That will follow you the rest of your life.
Matter, bro. It doesn't. I might be 50 years old in a Publix, buying sweet tea, and there's gonna be somebody in a KFC Mets jersey, some pimply faced high school kid who doesn't even know me, who doesn't even know you.
Right.
He's gonna come up to me, and he's just gonna be waving at me, and I'm gonna be like, "This little shit."
I hope so, man. I fucking hope so. It's amazing. Yeah. And then I feel like, Clem, you had to feel it too. Like when you were up the other day, ninth inning with down by 1 with a man on. I tweeted it before you're at bat. I was like, Winker's 100% driving this guy in. Like, no doubt about it, because that's just how this saga is always going to play out. You're going to get us, we're going to get you, and we'll do this dance until we're dead.
It's like a non-division rival. There's really no rivalry. It's just like
nothing.
It's literally nothing. It couldn't be further from anything.
Right.
It's like, it is the funniest thing, because back to my brothers, they screenshotted your tweet and sent it to me, and they were laughing. They're like, all right, this is funny now. And I saw you said something. You've said some funny shit over the years. I'm not gonna lie. Your Jets, the stuff you say about the Jets, man, just absolutely kills me. I actually almost bought one of your shirts of the burning jet.
You send me an address, we'll send you all the Jets shirts you want. Don't worry, man. I got you.
I hate the Jets.
Good.
I don't like the Jets. I like the fact that every year I'm like I'm not gonna lie. The 2019 football season, I was like, I hope they don't win a game for you, because I knew you were a Jets fan, and I didn't know, I didn't get a chance to talk to you yet. The only thing I had from you was a direct message that said something like, "You bastard, come on my podcast." So I was like, I hope the Jets never win another game. I hope they never win a game. And it was petty of me, and I apologize. but I don't apologize at the same time because
No,
if
you
they don't win
shouldn't.
another
You
game,
shouldn't. I would do the same exact thing. I'm hoping they don't win games either, so we're on the same page, man.
I think the quarterback they just took is going to be solid, though. I think that's the step in the right direction
God
for them.
willing.
And I think, the NFL, that's where it starts, is the quarterback, right? So
Absolutely.
God damn you, Winker. You're so goddamn nice. He comes on the podcast. He has his daughter. He's like, oh, I have to get her the babysitter. I'm like, listen, we're dads too. Like, we get it more than anyone in the world. But that's, I think, the best part about this is you are now like there's plenty of Mets killers, and I don't know how much you would know about this, not being a Mets fan or being a Met, but there's always those random dudes that kill us. Margot on the Braves, Paul DeJong, Paul DeJong, obviously, an El Central guy. He shoves it up our ass every goddamn game, and just like a guy named Jesse Winker coming out of nowhere, waving at us, hitting game-winning home runs, game-winning catches, all that kind of stuff. But you know what? Like, the thing about New Yorkers is we do appreciate it. Like, I appreciated Reggie Miller, even though I hated his guts. Trey Young, doing the ice tray on us. Like, it's something like it makes baseball fun, especially with baseball, right? Which could be such a boring sport sometimes. And I even wrote it in the blog, and I feel bad saying, like, actually quoting myself on this. But I said, this is exactly what I wrote the day after you did that to us with the wave. I said, I respect Winker for being a showman, a cocksucker, or a little bit of both in the name of the game of fun. And it's the truest thing. Like, we love that. And the fact you went back and forth, and the fact you take it. The only thing is I think everything you had done was above board. It was all good. You turned off the comments though. That's where you lost us there.
That was bullshit. You turned off your comments.
So okay, yeah. So I think I did the wrong thing. So I was trying to turn off notifications because my phone was going bonkers.
You just had nothing but
My
waves?
phone shut off from you Met fans, and it was like I was like, this is out of control. So I looked like an absolute, I looked like a bitch in that moment. And I hate to say that, but like I looked softer than soft. And I was like, oh, damn, like this made it worse. So I had to fire the comments back on, and my phone gets shut off again. I was
Dude,
like,
this was what got it for me. I just looked this up. I posted a video of my kid on Instagram. Nothing to do with baseball, nothing to do with anything. And you just commented the wave emoji on my kid, and I was like, oh, now it's on. Now it's fucking on. Let's go.
And then 2 years go by, and now I'm a dad. Now it's just a bunch of dads talking about dads just being dads, cyberbullying each other, which is nothing to play about. But
but this is why it's good, because like you said, you're being on the Reds. It's not like a diehard rivalry. I don't have to actually really hate you. We can, if you were on the Braves or the Phillies or something, man, I don't know how much I could play around with this. I might actually hate your guts. But being on the Reds now, we can do this.
Right. We're both 4-letter teams. They both end with S. We got a lot of things in common.
Especially this series, Mets fans and Reds fans have been like going through this together. That game to open the series, man, I mean, that took like 10 years off my life. What is it like playing in a game like that where it's just, it's hard enough to watch it. I can't imagine being in it.
Yeah. It was one of those games that it was just like who could have the last punch, right? That was like really the game, right? And obviously, the Mets, I think Conforto homered, Pilar homered, and it was just one of those games, right? Those things happen. We're at the part of the year now where both teams are trying to make like a stretch run, like a push, like try to stack some wins together to get into the postseason, because that's ultimately what this is about. So it was just one of those games, man. It was one of those games. It was a fun game to be a part of. There's a lot of action. It's funny because I don't look at baseball through a fan perspective, right? Because I'm in it and I'm playing, but if I was watching that game, I'd probably have a very similar reaction. Like what's going to happen next? There was everything in the game. There was strikeouts, there was homers, there was good plays, there was things that happened on both sides where you're like, oh my God, this is a literal slugfest. Yeah. So it was one of those things that obviously, the Mets got the last punch, and sometimes that's the way the game goes.
Well, just to give you a little background, like the origin, I mean, I don't have to tell you that Mets fans are a little twisted, as your mentions told you that time. But
I got it. I know that. I know that.
Leading up to this series, we've had obviously DeGrom goes down, Lindor goes we were blowing games to the Pirates left and right. So the fan base is like already we're the Joker, basically. We're crazy, we're lunatics. And then to have everything that happened in Pittsburgh, and then they come out. They win the game in Pittsburgh on Sunday. Then we go to Cincinnati to face you guys, and we get those bombs in the first inning, which the Mets offense has been missing for most of the year. So we're like, oh my God, this is gonna be one of those easy games.
Good. Yeah.
Then you guys get us. I think it was 3-0 top of the first, 4-3 by the bottom of the first, and then it was like, oh God. And we're in Citi Field as Mets fans, so we're used to 3-2 games. I don't know how you guys deal with that all the time at Great American, where it's just a launching pad, and then. The best part about it for me as a Mets fan, I imagine Kevin and Kyle can agree, is after, I don't know if they caught you on TV. I think after you tied it up, which I still can't believe they didn't walk you to get to whoever was behind you, even though I know Castle.
Were you surprised they pitched you?
No, man. I mean, Diaz is a stud. He throws 100 miles per hour. He's got a great slider. Not at all. He's the closer. It's his job to come in and close the game. And, as being the counterpart, it's my job to just try to put something in play hard, which is very hard to do against that man. And it was just one of those balls that happened, the Guillermo was shifted over kind of up the middle. And it was one of those balls that if he was playing 2 steps to his right, my left, it's an out. Right. And and the game's over. But it just got up over his head and it got in the gap. But it was one of those things that, no, not at all. I don't care how hot you are or how cold you are as a hitter. Whenever you're facing a closer, they're coming to get you. That's it, man. And that's like, if I was a closer personally, it wouldn't I'm coming to get you out. And that's that, so that's how I thought about it. And so I wasn't shocked by any means. No.
And as a Mets fan, I will say when it's a Mets, I don't care how hot you are or how cold you are. If you're a Mets killer, I don't want you swinging the bat in that situation, especially a guy who turned out to be an all-star. Again, you were, we didn't know who you were.
But am I really if we're talking Mets killers here? I mean, there's some guys that I don't know if I'm in this category. I'm just kind of
you are on the way. You're getting there.
You're like a villain. You're like a new villain in Mets land right now.
This is what I'm gonna say. This is what I am. If you hit a Mario Kart box, of all the things you could get, I'm like the solo banana. That's it. I'm not even the row of them. I'm the one banana that you throw behind your head and you're like, please God, take out Mario or Luigi. Please God, they're on my ass. I am not the star. I'm not a shell. No shells. So
you're on your way though, dude. Listen, when I tweeted that, I was like, Winker's for sure getting a hit. And then you follow through. That's the beginning of Met killer life, where I know what you're saying. Diaz is great. He's got great stuff. He's coming to get you. There are just certain times as a Mets fan, though, because Diaz is new here, and I'll be here long after he's gone, too. There are certain times where Mets fans just know what's happening and what's about to go down, and it was written in the stars, Winker, and I was like, that's how it starts. Next thing you know, you're like Chipper Jones, and you've got 40 home runs against us in 10 years. It's a scary thought. You might be one of those guys.
Sign me up for that. If I hit 40 pumps against a non-division team, I'm in.
That's like Margot, though. He hits 800 against the Mets, and he's only played them 20 times. He's got 15 hits. So that's where you're headed.
I just put all this together. All 3 of you are Mets fans now. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I have a question for you guys because this is pretty cool. I saw this the other day. They're bringing back the black jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about that? I feel like that's like a staple in Mets baseball. You guys would know better than me.
Yeah, I'm not as big on it. I'm not as huge of a uniform guy, but there was some good times in the black uniforms and some bad times, and I guess a lot of people remember the 99, 2000, So I'm all for it. If the fans are going to be this excited, and I know the players are, I've seen Stroman talking about he's going to get a DeGrom jersey in black and frame it and all this shit. So I'm all about it. Whatever gets the fan base riled up. But I don't care what they could play in anything. Just win the game. I don't care what you guys wear. Clem, are you a big black jersey guy?
So that was that's the only authentic jersey I ever bought. I'll go to like the China jerseys. You guys like $250 to buy what you guys are getting for free every single day, you know? So that was the only one I ever got. I got a David Wright one black and I loved it. It does like, that was like the 90s and 2000s. So everyone got like a third alternate black. So it does feel like that. But again, the fans like it. More importantly, the players. Like I feel like Pete is going to just go crazy whenever he wears a black jersey, which I think it'll be against you guys. I think they'll be wearing it next Friday because the Reds are coming to town on next week. So, and Winker, don't you just like that? This is such a little Mets villain thing to do is be like, I'm just a banana. He's at the very worst. Yeah. Yes. You know what he is? He's the 3 greens. And it's like he causes chaos. He shoots him out, and you don't know where it's coming. And listen, he sometimes hits himself because, like, he gets us, right? He gets us with the wave and the home run, but then he also gets ejected. And this is what they got you with Winker. This is what I was going to say before.
Look at you.
You get the game-tying hit against us, and I'm just like, we're all losing our minds. And then SNY, I think it was they had the Reds broadcast on because of COVID. That's what they're doing. And they showed you talking to the bullpen, pumping the guys up. And then the bullpen goes out and shits the bed. And I was like, oh, thank you, Mr. Winker. You've done it to us again.
What'd you say? What'd you say to them?
No, that wasn't a pump-up speech at all. We were talking about something completely not related to the matter.
Mario Kart? You're talking about Mario Kart?
Yeah.
No. Wait, first off, did you say Mario Kart?
Oh, yeah, here we go. Here we go.
We're from New York. We say Mario. Deal with it.
Bro. Wow, it's Mario. That's not even close.
Mario is a plumber from New York.
You're from New York. You should say it right. That's
I'm from New York. I'm not from
we were not. It was not, bro. It was not a pump up speech at all.
Oh, Gary Cohen did you dirty then, because he's like, he's pumping the guys up, and then the bullpen goes out, and Pilar is hitting home runs over the wall. I'm like, thank you again, Mr. Winker.
No, it wasn't a pump up speech. No, we were talking about something completely different. But same guy who bashed Skyline Chili, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I heard about that.
Dude, he was like, you would have thought that the owners of Skyline like killed his family or something. He was going in on Skyline Chili.
He went off on Skyline, and Skyline is like a Cincinnati staple. I've only had it one time, and what I'm gonna say about Skyline is, it is something that I feel like when you're from Cincinnati, you kind of grow up eating and you love it. But for me, like eating chili, being from Buffalo, New York, is like the red bean chili, right? Like I would assume you guys, it's just a different thing. But if you guys, I'm not even going to say that you're expecting me to bash Skyline because I'm not stupid enough to bash Skyline. So I know what you guys were concocting. Now you're going to try to get my fan base to start waving at me. And I know what you guys are going to do, but no, man, it's not for everybody. But I think there's a thing that, just like I don't know if everybody likes whatever's New York style pizza. I love it, by the way. Big fan of New York.
Who doesn't? But that's the thing. Who doesn't love New York style pizza? Come on.
I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just trying to make a comparison. It was a shit comparison, but
Kyle, you can edit that, right? You can edit that to make it say to where Jesse's like, I don't like Skyline. I hate Reds fans.
You can make it say I don't like Skyline, and then I hate New York pizza, and then everyone's gonna be coming for me.
Oh, that's perfect. You just said it. Now I don't even have to cut around anything.
Your phone's gonna shut down on the notifications.
Great. Yeah, let me tell you, I will just be knocking on your office door here in like 2 weeks. Don't worry about that.
I got a tweet right before we started up the interview. Is this true that you played on a travel team with Lindor, Javi Baez, Dante Bichette, Albert Amaro Jr., Jose Fernandez? You play with all those guys?
Yeah, Daniel Vogelbach too. Don't forget Vogelbach, bro. This team was unbelievable. And
Christ, how old were you?
So they were seniors. I was a junior in high school. Yeah, man.
Did you were there other teams of that caliber, or were you just rolling over people?
We lost.
No.
What?
I believe we came in 3rd or 4th at this tournament. So there's this tournament in Jupiter, I forget whatever the name of it is, but it's this mega tournament, right? And all the scouts that have a badge go to this tournament, and we lost to, I want to say, the Canes baseball in the semifinal. And yeah, man, we lost. We lost to like a submarine pitcher.
They have big leaguers, or they just, they had just a team that clicked against you?
Well, they definitely had a team that clicked. I don't remember who was on their team. I just remember we lost. And, you know, we had a lot of guys that were getting drafted really high. So our coach made a priority to not, like, every pitcher had a pitch count. You know, he wasn't bringing guys together to have them throw 100 pitches in this tournament in the fall when they were getting drafted in the spring, you know. So he always kept the player first, and he knew what he was doing. But still, you'd think with that team, like you said, you would just run through this tournament, right? It'd be like one of those super AAU basketball teams that are dunking on these kids that are just still doing layups, right? And that's not how baseball works, man.
I was going to say, man, that's why baseball is the stupidest sport in the world, man.
It is wild. Like, you have a team where, Francisco Lindor has been the best player on the field ever since I've been playing against him, right? He's been a switch hitting shortstop, making every kind of play you could ever make, you know. And just with him alone, we should have probably won the tournament, and we lost the tournament, man. We didn't.
And I mean, it is. I mean, watching him this year has been like, we are the biggest supporters of him. Like, we got this 10-year deal with him. I hope he's here the whole time. I hope we win titles. I hope he turns it around. And it's like, you can be that talented at this sport and go through these stretches where it's like, you know, it looks like you just picked up the bat. It's a very, very humbling game. It's wild.
Bro, it's all part of the sport. You know, it's all part of baseball. There's an ebbs and flow to a baseball season. But, you know, Francisco's awesome, man. And he's going to be great there for, like you said, for 10 years. And it's just for that franchise to get him, it was just a great fit. And, you know, you know, very happy for him. It's cool, very cool to see.
Is everything we've heard stuff from, you know, different players on the team and guys around the team, like that dude in the locker room is just one of those guys that just makes, because they said, like, as the Mets were going through their injuries and stuff like that, he just kept everyone loose, kept everyone happy, had fun with it and stuff like that. When you were dealing with him, you know, through that year, did you kind of see that? Was he that kind of guy in the locker room?
I've never really shared a locker room with him. And I don't think a high school travel ball team is like a fair, you know. But just from what I've known from him, and, you know, being in Orlando and you know, seeing all the good he does for, you know, for his community, for people, and just the game of baseball, it doesn't shock me at all to hear how he is, you know, in a clubhouse, or to hear all these great things about him. You know, he's an outstanding person, and you know, he's one of the faces of baseball for a reason, and he's a really good dude, man. So yeah, I'm not shocked to hear those things, how great he is at all.
All right, hand up. I was really trying to dig. We've been really battling the fan base, and we call them the Lindorks, anyone that complains about him. And then, like, again, and we love Guillorme. I love Luis Guillorme, but the night he went on the IL or whatever, the next day, Guillorme has the 3 errors against you guys. I'm like, do you guys miss at least his defense yet, even though his hitting has gotten hotter, you know, throughout the season? So I was just trying to dig for an answer there. I got to ask this one, too. I got to ask if in your locker room, at this rate, if you guys are just looking at Nick Castellanos as if he has, like, black magic voodoo, because the first one was a wild home run, right? It's an all-time moment. We had shirts in the store, you know, a drive to deep left by Castellanos. The second one is just fucking crazy.
Bro, can you believe that happened again?
I mean, when the first one happened, I was like, this is the most improbable thing to ever happen in sports. Like, what are the chances? And then he does it again. It was like, what the fuck?
He's like the Forrest Gump of baseball, where he's just in the middle of these unbelievable, crazy moments. And he's like, he's a good player. He's a very good player. But it's like, he's not like a scrub, but he's not a superstar. And he's just like, he's the Forrest Gump of baseball. That's what I'm going to call him. And if he does it a third time, I'm like, you have to, like, avoid the guy. That's craziness.
I'm going to tell you something that's even crazier, is that I've never seen Forrest Gump start to finish. Yeah. So, like, you're saying, I know, guys. I'm sorry. Listen, I've seen a lot of movies. I pride myself in, like, being a movie guy myself. Like, I pride.
Well, clearly you're not. Clearly you're not. If you haven't seen Forrest Gump.
Watched Forrest Gump at all. Like, just a little bit.
You just pop it. You get on the train. You get on the plane. Just pop it in the. Pop it in your Netflix or whatever.
I don't want to pop Forrest Gump. I'm watching Dave. I'm watching Dave.
Dave, so fucking funny.
Bro, it's so funny. But yeah, I haven't seen Forrest Gump gate to gate, man. Like, I know, like, life is like a box of chocolates and run, Forrest, run. Like, I know, like, the cliche American lines from it, but yeah, I haven't watched it in its entirety.
The reason I call him that, because Forrest Gump always finds himself in like the middle of these historic moments, and he kind of doesn't really know what's going on. And I just feel like that's Nick Castellanos. Like, baseball fans know him as the guy, he's like this player, he's going good. But I mean, like Kevin said, the first time, completely improbable, 1 in a million. You never know what you're going to see while you're watching a baseball game. 2 times in a year. I mean, there's some
calendar year happened at the same place.
Yep.
Oh shit! I didn't even think of that.
Same place, and it was almost an identical home run.
Yes. Did he say anything about that? Does that like make its way to the clubhouse and he's like, holy shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
We couldn't believe it happened again. We couldn't believe it.
I gotta think at this point, every time he hits a deep home run to left, he's getting back to the clubhouse and being like, "Did they discover aliens? Like, what's going on here?"
what could possibly be next, right? No, that's actually really funny. No, he's having an unbelievable year too. He's really fun to watch. Guy can hit, man, but he also plays really good defense, and he's incredible on the bases too. And then, yeah, man, he's fun. He's fun to watch, and he's fun to learn from. I learned a lot from him, so I'm thankful for Casty for sure.
Dude, you're no slouch either, man. Had I known you were going to be as good of a ball player as you are, I don't know if I would have riled you up as much as I did. I want all this stuff off the field. I don't want you when you're in the box, though. You're no joke. So
I just hope it gets me some free merch, man. I like is it the Moon Man? Like, what do we got?
Yeah, this guy knows it all, man. I appreciate the support, dude. I know what you're doing. You're buttering me up so that I don't fucking send the army after you.
Bro, I already survived the cavalry. I already bring whatever else you got. I already. Hey,
if you want it,
listen to me. I don't know what's in store for me when we come to Citi Field. I don't know what you guys got up your sleeve. I just want you to come to a game. That's it. I'll leave you damn tickets. Just come to a game.
Let's go. You offer the challenge. You throw down the gauntlet. We will rise to the occasion.
Bro, this isn't a challenge. This isn't a
It's a duel.
I just said for the last 2 years of my life, there's been 3 grown men. 1, 2, 3. On my ass. I just want to shake your hand. I just want to shake your hand and be like, look, it's water under the bridge. All 4 of us can walk across the bridge. Look, we're happy. We're smiling. We made it.
Listen, I'll promise you this. There's 3 grown men who will accept that. I can't handle like what the rest of the guys do. That's up to them. What the rest of the fan base does, I got no control.
Bro, I totally understand you don't have any control over them. I get it. They're still waving to me. I got it. But no.
All right, dude. We appreciate the time. We know you're going to talk to Starting 9 as well. So thanks a lot, and we will see you in a week or so. So
sounds good.
Best of luck for when you're playing us.
100 Joe Nuxall Way. Send me some merch.
You got it. You got it, man. It's wonderful.
Good talking to you guys.
Later,
my friend.
Bye.
Well, just a nice guy. This is the thing. He's buttering us up because then next week when he goes, 8 for 12 with 4 home runs and we lose, and we're all panicking.
Is going to happen. You know what's happening now.
I'm already going to the game on the 31st. I'm like, I'm going to be motherfucking this guy left and right the second he gets up.
I know. We actually should try to get. We should probably do something while he's here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna see if we could. I don't know if we could invite him to the office. I don't know where they even stay if he'd even want to, or like you said, we head out there, get to a game or whatever. So, Jesse Winker, goddamn delightful.
I just got a message from our Mets rep. All good for Barcelona Ballpark. 400 people. Emails going out today with all the details. So it should be our big outings. So
cool.
Good
Return.
All right, so I'll do a Fleischman and we'll talk a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
You want me to? I'll pull up the code or whatever, so then we have that.
Yeah, give me that, and I'll start it off.
You can do that interview brought to you by.
Yeah. Big thanks to Jesse Winker. That interview was brought to you by Fleischman. I had to make sure my hair was looking on point while we had Winker show up like a man to face music. Anytime you got to look your best, look sharp, you got to hit up a Fleischman salon here in New York. Or if you're not from around here, you can make sure you're using Fleischman hair products. They've got this shampoo and conditioner that it smells good. The scent is on point, but there's something about like the suds, the way that it like that shampoos your hair. It's so much better than the other average shampoo. You get that sent to your house every single month, every time you need a new bottle. They've also got the gummies to help your hair grow. They've got hair paste and hair cream. They've got a sea salt spray. It tastes you get a little smell, a little taste of like ocean water in your hair. It's unbelievable. Anytime you need to make sure your hair is on point, you got to go with Fleischman Salon. They are the best in the business. They dedicated their life to hair the way that Winker dedicates it to baseball, the way that we dedicate it to podcasting. It's the best in the biz. So go to FleischmanSalon.com. At the top, you click on shop and you use promo code BELIEVE. You get 20% off. And then if you buy their bundles, you get an additional discount. You end up getting almost 40% off if you use the promo code and do the bundle. So I recommend getting the full bundle. You get everything. They've also got smaller bundles where you get just the hair cream with the spray. You can kind of mix and match and do a la carte if you want. But if you get the bundle and use the code, you get a monster discount. They are a mom and pop shop who have spent a lot of their advertising budget with me and with Barstool. So please return the favor if you're in New York, or if you need, you're gonna need to do your hair, you might as well do it with them because they support us. So FleischmanSalon.com, FleischMan.com. Use the promo code BELIEVE and get that bundle. I mean, Winker, man, he's just he's an awesome dude.
I don't like it one bit. I don't like liking my enemies. I like Chipper Jones shoving it up our ass and being just a cocksucker, and you just be like, I fuck Chipper Jones. It's hard to say fuck Jesse Winker. It's really, he offered us tickets to the game. He wants to just hang out. He's shouting out the fucking 1 minute man, the goddamn Jets, the moon man. I mean, Kevin, don't you go to the fucking other side of the tracks now too? A positive K is one thing. I don't need you becoming like a fucking friend of the enemy here.
The best way is to butter me up and tell me like that. Now I have no choice but to like the guy. I'm like, oh, you listen to 1 Minute Man? Okay, I love you. He did mention the DM I sent him. This was this way back when, like May of 19. I said, are you available to come on the podcast? And I did the wave. He never answered. And then I just messaged him recently. I said, Winker, you son of a bitch. And that was it. So he was right. But yeah, I mean, he shouted us out on John Boy's podcast. And so we got the sighting.
Oh, I thought I muted it. Yep, AJ just came down screaming. He's basically just having a ball, but he's been kicked out. He's been ejected. We're gonna wave to him. He's my Jesse Winker of the house right now.
Every time I hear the kids in the background, I always just think of that news clip where the mom comes in and rips the kid out of the room. The guy in the background.
On a daily basis at this point. Goddamn the summer. I hate the summer. I'd slow down the summer and once it's of course late the other week.
Year round. School 365. But yeah, man, once he shouted us out, if you don't know the backstory, he was on with John Boy on his podcast, and they asked him what like fan base has been his biggest, rival, and he said it was us, like hands down. So Mets fans have done a good job keeping up that rivalry, and I think it's only going to ignite it. This is going to reignite it. The waving is coming back for sure.
I think he said Kevin Clancy too. I think Kevin Clancy is my number one rival and all that kind of stuff. And again, the guy is a fucking all-star player. He was a first-round pick, which Kyle and I didn't notice before like this had all gone down. So the name Jesse Winker just sounds like a stupid Mets killer and stuff like, oh, goddamn, Jesse Winker's at the plate right now, right? But he's actually a good player. And this is I didn't want to say this in front of him, but Kyle said it best. Conforto, a lot of money. Winker, after arbitration, hits the free agent market. Built for New York, could be. And I love Mikey. I love the pictures. I love tweeting out the picture every single home run. But might be a way where we can, avoid the luxury tax and still get some good production out of left field in the future.
He's awesome. When this all started, I actually didn't like him. I was like, fuck this guy. Because at that point I knew nothing about it, so I was like, this dude is a scrub, and he's obnoxious. And then he turned out to be neither of those two things. He seems to be a cool dude, and he's putting up 30 fucking bombs. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know what the fuck I'm about. So awesome move by him to come on. And yeah, I mean, I would take a guy like Winker. You can tell doing things like this. That's why, man, if I was a pro athlete, if I was a baseball player, I would do this kind of shit all the time. It ingratiates yourself to your fan base and other fan bases. It turns your haters into fans, turns fans into diehards. It's just so easy to pop on a podcast, talk some shit, show that you're a normal guy, and like that's all it takes.
Especially like the Mets fans. I feel like Mets fans just feed into that too. Even if you fucking hate the guy, if he can give it back to you, like our fans are just screaming at him from the left field bleachers the entire game, and then he turns around and waves, and you're like, you fucking got us. Like, we'll get you tomorrow. And then it's just like they're building this up, this lore. Whereas you don't want the boring guy who's just gonna like come there and beat your ass like Chipper Jones did every time. Like, we could scream Larry till our voices give out, and he's still gonna get up there and hit a home run. You're like, I hate this man.
Right.
That's the difference.
And when you don't play back, that's when I actually hate you. Because the only interaction I have with Chipper Jones is just him beating our ass, which from a rivalry point of view is probably pretty cool for Chipper to be like, I never fucking cracked. I never broke character. I just dominated them. But for someone like him, like he comes to town, we play a couple times a year. I think it's
memorable.
So much fun to race it. Yeah.
And Chipper named his kid after our stadium too because he owned it so badly. So that was such a. But yeah, Jesse Winker, cool guy. Maybe future Met. We'll start throwing that around there, and we're gonna edit the shit out of that so it makes it sound like he hates Skyline Chili. We'll turn his own fans against him. We're gonna poison the well, and we're gonna get Winker here at a discount. The wheels are in motion. But I mean, I think we all needed a little bit of a laugh and a relief after that series because I'm telling you, we were at a fever pitch. In The Dark Knight, where it's just that like high pitched like squealing that goes on, and you just feel like that's where the fan base was at the beginning of the series. We didn't know what the hell was going to happen. Again, follow the We Gotta Believe Instagram for the weekly takeovers that we do in there because we were riding high when Pete hit the fuck bomb. We were hit the low when we blew the lead, and then it was just ups and downs the entire night, and it ends with Anthony Banda on the goddamn mat. Like, if you had told us just in April, there's going to be a moment where you question your faith as a human, and Anthony Banda is going to bring you out of your darkest moments, you'd say, who the fuck is Anthony Banda?
The only thing I requested from him was when he blows it, to just blow it.
Give up 10 runs.
Don't let him tie the game. Just give up a 2-run shot and let me go to sleep. Because I'm not going to blame Anthony Banda for being the reason why we lost. So, just get it over with. That game made me realize how not prepared I am for even the potential of October baseball.
Meaningful September games. We're not ready for meaningful September baseball.
Not a little bit. I couldn't handle a meaningful July game. I mean, now to be fair, you tell me that the Mets are going to get 18 hits, 15 runs on 7 home runs, and that it was going to be a sweat to the finish line in extra innings. Like, what the fuck are you even talking about? That literally has to be the most high scoring close game of all time. Tacomo tweeted out the win probability. It was just up, down, up, down. I mean, that game took 5 years off my life, and it was a fucking random game in July for a team that's like, maybe going to make the playoffs. It's like, holy fucking Christ.
So you texted us and you were like, this is bullshit. I'm invoking my extra innings rule. Like, I'm done watching this fucking game. But you didn't. You were still scoring watching.
And then I sit there and watch anyway.
But then I saw the next day Dave tweeted out, only the Mets play 162 games. It's only the Mets that this happens to, calling you out. What do you think about that? It does really feel like.
What did he say?
He quote tweeted your tweet about you wrote only the Mets would have 18 hits and hit 7 home runs and like barely win the game. And so then he was making it seem like we're always saying the sky is falling and like only the Mets play 162 and this could only happen in the Mets. It sure seems like that's what happens.
Well, first of all, yeah, like if anything, and I've heard him fucking say it, but everybody at Barstool has said they all used to make fun of Mets Twitter for how dramatic we are, and then they got here and they realized how much shit happens. So I've all heard them say that before, so he can go fuck himself. Also, for a guy who played baseball, like I laid it out for you. 15 runs on 7 home runs, and it takes to the 11th inning, and it's a nail biter. Yeah, I would actually be willing to bet that hasn't happened to any other team. So, I understand when we get too dramatic, but that was the absolute worst time to try to play that card because, I mean, the numbers don't lie. His girl Tico will tell you numbers never lie. 7 home runs and you've got to sweat it out. What?
And 7 home runs for a team that doesn't do that, hasn't done that much this year. So that's the thing is, and Dave Dave, when he takes a step back and he actually starts following it again, where is he? Miami right now? He's not like when he was here years ago. He saw the day-to-day, the craziness. Again, that Padres game for 2015, that would be like the last thing I remember before I die, because the fucking emotional roller coaster you go through, the Wilmer Flores game, all that kind of stuff. And then the next night where we're like, all right, we just need, Robert Stock to just eat as many innings. And he leaves the game in the second inning. We're like, well, here we go. Another bullpen game. And we're living and dying. And somehow the pitching holds together. Then the offense doesn't come up and we're going crazy. And listen, I get every single team has, that's baseball, Susan, right? That's the reason the saying exists. But there is no fan base, no franchise that goes through the fucking ups and downs the way the Mets do. It's just a fact. They know it. And when they actually pay attention to it, they're like, how do you guys get through this every year? And I honestly don't know. Did
you see the transaction sheet that Tacoma tweeted out of every transaction the Mets have had? And obviously, there's always moving parts to every team. This looked like the fucking reference page to a 1,000-page textbook. I was like, holy shit. It's like, this guy's up, this guy's down, this guy got DFA'd, this guy got picked up. It's like,
that's why
the entire team makes no sense.
I'm hearing it from everybody. Oh, you're the only team with injuries, huh? Like, you're the only team with this many? I think so. I don't know. I don't follow along. What is that?
Can you see it? No.
Yeah, Mets are in first.
Wait.
Oh yeah, that's
the transaction.
Oh my god!
It looks like the fucking Declaration of Independence. Like that to me is I don't know. I know the Phillies have been hurt too. I know that I know they got a bad bullpen too. But like the things that happen in the Mets, I really do believe are that unique and that different. And the raccoons and the fucking squirrels and the fights and the injuries, the good like DeGrom, the bad like some. I mean. People can make fun of it all they want. Mets fans know. And all the outsiders looking in are either not aware of how crazy it is, or they're just not, they don't root for their team the same way that we do. So, we're extra dramatic. And then, that's why guys like Frank are the way that Frank is. You know what I mean? And yet, Frank, how many tweets has he had, this week during some of our better games, huh?
He tweeted once yesterday, and it was about McNeil stepping on the background and fucking up his leg. And I was like, this fucking guy. He ran it 7-0 shutout. Stroman throws a one-hitter 8 innings, and the one time you tweet is about McNeil's ankle. I was like, how the fuck do you go to sleep at night?
Rooting against us. He wants this team to lose.
He's laughing. He's laughing at us. I'll say this about Frank. I actually if you take Frank for what he is, you can enjoy it. It's just when you guys know how it is. If you're like a bar, right, and you're watching your team, and then there's the one negative guy, you're like, I fucking hate that guy. That's the way Frank is if you're like watching Twitter during the game. But if you take him for what he is, and now that he's with like the Yak crew, he's a cartoon character in his own right, even more so than he was beforehand. He's on an apology tour. He's apologizing to Scott Van Pelt. He apologized to Trevor May. You didn't see that? He I don't know what happened. And whenever I see a tweet during the day, I figure there's some sort of yak bit behind it. But I think he blames Scott Van Pelt, as he blames a lot of announcers for ruining the team. He said he was sorry to SVP for blaming him for being the reason the Mets lost a game or something. He then apologized for it, and SVP obviously wrote back because he's a friend of the program, friend of Barstool. Yeah. But he also has apologized to Trevor May and Francisco Lindor in the last month or so. And I don't know if you guys saw this. He is trying to get on Marcus Stroman. He's trying to get off the block list on Marcus Stroman, and he said to apologize. I
saw that. I saw it, but you know what? Stroman has every right to be like, no, fuck that. Stroman, I like Stroman. Mets fans don't like Stroman. I think a lot of them are probably racist. I think some of them are just assholes. I like Stroman. I don't love his social, the way I view social media. If you're going to utilize it, then it has to be open to everybody. And I know some people say it's my social media and it's my experience and I'm going to block who I want to block and mute who I want to mute and blah, blah, blah. But if you want to be outspoken, I think you then have to take it as well. You can block people that are racist or assholes. Frank's just a fucking dick who's yelling about the game. I feel like that should be allowed. But I do respect being like, nope, like he deserved it.
Kind of like we said with Winker, right?
Stroh knows. Stroh was like, other fans are calling him out for being toxic, so he knows that is like, Stroh has his finger on the pulse of the people. I feel like.
Yeah, and like we said with Winker, like, yeah, you wave at us and whatever, we give it back. But it's like when you turn off the comments, that's when it's like, come on, man, like this is part of the discourse here. And listen, like, hey, if Stroh, and like I think athletes in general, if you want to just block people so you like positive vibes only, there's that. I feel like that fuels Stroman, right? I feel like that's kind of his method and the way he goes about things. That's fine. That makes me love Marcus Stroman even more. Is that Frank? The better he pitches, the more it angers Frank that he can't just like thank him basically on social media. And this makes me love. Like I'm even more of a Stroh guy than I was. That he like actually like it's like number one best thing Stroman has done this week is give the bullpen a goddamn day off. Finally, number two is
8 innings, bro. 8 innings is like a gift from God himself. Like we haven't seen I would say. Off the top of my head, I don't know these kind of stats. I would say we've pitched into the 7th, like single-digit times, like 9 times this year.
Even on DeGrom days, they don't happen because he gets hurt, or they're limiting him, or something like that, or it's a doubleheader.
It feels. I mean, Taijuan Walker was a lock for like 7 innings, like 2-3 runs for a long stretch. Other than that, it's like you hope to get to 6. So getting to 8. And that complete game from DeGrom not too long ago. I mean, that is a gift from above. And my mom gets mad all the time. She's super mad. She's so mad that DeGrom's injuries came from his at-bats and then right after his complete game. And I understand, but also like everything feeds each other. So a complete game from DeGrom means tomorrow our bullpen's fresh and we win that game as well. And next thing you know, you're on a winning streak. So you don't want any injured starting pitchers because Lord knows we need all we can get. But God, that bullpen has been taxed, as is every bullpen these days. But 8 innings, 1 hit is mwah.
Yeah,
90 pitches, 7 strikeouts. Like he was efficient, and like he's such a good fielder too. And they always seem like they're shocked every time. And they're always like, "Well, he did win a Gold Glove," and it's like, He played shortstop and second base at Duke. Like he's a professional fielder.
I saw that somebody asked him, when you saw you were at 90 pitches, did you think about a complete game? And he just said, "Next question." So I think he was a little salty that he didn't get the shot to go for it, especially at 90 pitches. But whatever, that sucks for him. But gladly take it as a fan. 2 out of 3 against the Reds, who are like, Reds are a very similar team to us, where they're Reds fans all week were like, I feel like they're an NL Central version of us, where they're complaining and like, oh my God, this bullpen and this team's infuriating. So, not like a juggernaut, but, in the playoff hunt, above 500, similar type team. And the bounce back against the Pirates is real. I'm telling you, man, the Pirates it was meant to be that way. It was gonna be that way. And then next month when we sweep the fucking Padres or something, that'll counteract it, because that's how it goes, man. It's just how it goes as a Mets fan.
And like I said, after that road trip, which, I mean, obviously because of the All-Star break, then they had the Pirates at home before that. That felt like the longest road trip. It was 6 games. They went 3-3. Let's never speak of the last week of baseball ever again. But like the NL Central, I called the NL Central the elephant graveyard of fucking baseball, right? So like, you do not go there. It's just nothing but dangers out there. I don't like it. It's over now. It's all that matters. But yeah, I mean, it's a bandbox too. That's the thing. I hate
we needed
games.
that though.
Yeah,
like they have the Blue Jays coming to town, and then we have to play 5 games against the Braves during the midweek. 5. Like if we didn't win that extra innings game against the Reds, and that came back to bite us against the Braves.
But you know what? Honestly, I look up today and we have a 3.5 game lead. It's like this is crazy that you win tonight and everybody loses, and we've actually extended our lead by a half a game, and we're 4.5 now. It's despite it all, and that's where I think it's crazy that people are like, the Mets aren't gonna last. Like, what makes you think that the Phillies, Braves, Marlins, whoever are gonna, like, they have been 4 games worse than the team all year. So why do you have all this faith in them and not in the Mets, who have been injured and haven't lived up to their potential? Like, if anything, I keep thinking the Mets are poised to run away with it. We're almost at the end of the month where that was supposed to be Syndergaard and Carrasco, right? The end of July. So if anything, I feel like that's still Wilpon, LOL, Mets thinking creeping into people's heads, being like, they can't last. It's like, well, they're better than these other fucking teams that you seem to have so much faith in. So, fuck that.
All I need to see is Jake come back. If Jake comes back, everything's all right. Like I know Lindor is not going to be back for probably at least a month. But as long as Jake comes back, because it's like the unknown of him plus all these fucking like pitchers just getting hurt as soon as, and then we have bullpen games. But again, like you said, Stroman going 8, the day off on Thursday, and now we kind of get to reset the bullpen. I am like. I said it before the season with Diaz. I trusted Diaz. I was 100 out of 100, and then we have the rest of the bullpen. I don't trust anyone with the bullpen right now because Diaz. Ever since
we got to be honest, right?
Yep.
You look at the dates. You look at the performance, the stats,
the spin rates.
I mean, Diaz is a sticky stuff guy. He just fucking is, and without it, he is all over the place and not the same pitcher. And if this is now going to turn into 2019 or 18, what was the bad year?
19.
19. If it's going to be 2019 Diaz, that is a big problem because this team is going to win 96 games. This team can't afford to blow like even 2 or 3 games that like they absolutely need to win. You're going to blow some saves, right? But the ones that are like you were up like 4 or 5 runs or something like that. If there's going to be a couple, like even just a couple of those meltdowns, that's the difference between winning 89 and 87. That's the difference between making the playoffs and missing the playoffs. And if you've got a sticky stuff guy who is now old Diaz, we're fucked. I mean, it's like when Diaz comes in fresh off his fucking like clean inning, nobody up or nobody on base, you're rested, you're good to go. And you throw 4 straight balls, it's like, what the fuck is going on? How can you be that bad all of a sudden? It'd be like if I just hop on a mic and I can't talk anymore. It'd be like if, a chef just can't cook anymore for a little bit. Like, how can you just walk this guy right a fucking way? And, I mean, I lost it the other day during the Reds game. I thought of all of them. Somebody had the gall to say to me that Billy Wagner wasn't like a heart attack waiting to happen. I was like, are you out of your fucking mind? He's right there with K-Rod and Benitez and now Diaz. Like the names just go on. And that's the guys who were good. Then there's just the bad ones like Looper and fucking, guys who were just straight up.
Schoenweiss.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I hated Schoenweiss more than any pitcher in the fucking world.
It's like, I just can't take it anymore. And I know that is pretty universal. Unless you're like a Yankee fan, you've never experienced a true lockdown reliever. But God damn, it is brutal. So if that spin rate and sticky stuff is the real deal, we are in some serious trouble. The rest of the bullpen the same way. Castro was clearly a sticky guy.
Allegedly, we're gonna say allegedly to all this. Allegedly, definitely a sticky guy.
Yeah,
my guy Lugo, I'm worried too. Like I have to see it. I want to see his spin rate. And again, he's coming back from an injury. And I cleared this with our guy Joe DeMeo. I'm asking him, dude, talk me off the Diaz ledge. And he says it's a mechanics thing as well. But like we could talk mechanics. Also, the numbers never. Tico Tex is getting a lot of love this episode. The fucking spin rate numbers. It looks like our fucking winning percentage chances whenever he comes, win probability when he comes in the game late. It's just dropping. And I want to believe in Diaz. Maybe just needs to hear Narcos in the home ballpark again to get his fucking like juice back up. But it's terrifying, man. And I know Lugo said like I'm happy that they got rid of the sticky stuff because I've been working on my curveball and stuff. Now go fucking make it work.
Prove it, man.
By the way, though, PNC Park and Great American Ballpark are both fucking hitters-friendly park. Like, if he gets back to Citi Field, I mean, him pointing to the sky is just like the worst visual of all time. But it's probably an out in Citi Field versus that. And the same thing with, like, Guillorme got completely jammed and he hit, like, his second career home run. So that just goes to show how that ballpark plays. But even for Diaz, like the spin rate isn't so much the issue as to what Kevin said, which is like he just has no fucking idea where the ball's going. Like he's the poster boy for like a pitcher needs the sticky stuff because he needs to control the baseball, not for spin rate. Like
he's gonna kill somebody.
Right.
Frank calling it Great American Small Park. It doesn't take much. It's the little things. When he nails them, Great American Small Park. I was like, all right, Frank, yeah, I'll give it to you. That was funny.
Hunter Strict 9, right? Or Strike 9, the rat poison.
The worst one is Conforto Canofor. I'm like, you're terrible, Frank. You're so bad.
I have to shout out this one too. I saw this stat on Twitter. It blew me away. DJ Short tweeted out highest on base percentage dating back to 2020, minimum 150 plate appearances. Juan Soto 1, Buster Posey 2, Luis Guillorme 3, 422, 4 Mike Trout, 5 Freddie Freeman, number 6 Brandon Nimmo BP, baby.
I was surprised. I thought Nimmo would have had the highest on the team. Yeah.
I saw a chart from 2018 until now, and it's Trout, Soto, Nimmo. Nimmo's 3 with 400.
I'm gonna get it tattooed on my forehead if we win a World Series. I'm sorry.
Clipping that.
All right, so a little bounce back, much needed. Big games coming up. Linker coming to town. We're almost into August, into the dog days, into the big final stretch. What, 8 or 9 days till the deadline now? Unless like we lose every single game and the NL East wins every single game, I expect to be buyers. What do you think? I mean, you think we get a pitcher, we get a batter, get both? What?
It's tricky because I really want like the Bryant Berrios. I feel like those are the 2 big guys for us to get. And that's what I still want. And I know like JD is hitting and you don't really need to kind of go, but it's like, and the offense is getting hot too, so it doesn't seem as bad. But when that offense does get cold again, I'd rather just have Chris Bryant's bat there and his defense too, which I don't want to have. We lived with the lollipop with David Wright at third and Daniel Murphy at second. I don't need JD Davis's glove being in the field in a big spot and like in the 5th inning.
I hear you, but Chris Bryant is going to cost you a lot. And are you really going to give that much more offensive production? Defense, sure. But, if Bryant's going to cost you, they've got to make sure their fan base is okay with the fact that they gave up their 29-year-old former MVP, World Series champion staple,
And listen, I know prospect hugging and all that shit. I'm really not that much of a prospect hugger. It's just like when you trade a guy like Kalenic or Kazmir away for something that I don't deem an equal value, which I think it's played out pretty clearly. Like every time I see Mauricio or Alvarez, they're just hitting the dick out of the ball. So I'm like, I don't want to like that for a Bryant as a strict rental, which it seems like he's going to be. But I wonder if he's really going to cost that level of prospect. Again, they have to do something with the Cubs fans, but then there's also the baseball executives who are going to be like, I'm not fucking trading you my number 1 guy for a guy I'm going to keep for a few weeks or months.
I think Baez is an easier sell because even though he wants the $200 million, and it's actually good that he came out and said that because now he's got the Cubs over a barrel. They have to get rid of him because they're not paying him that. Yeah. They lost Schwarber last year, and he became an instant all-star with the Nationals. They're probably going to lose Bryant. They're probably going to lose Baez, and then you have Rizzo. So it's like they don't have a lot of leverage if you're another team asking them. So if we could get away without getting rid of like the top 3 prospects,
when you like list all the names, it's unfathomable that they're sellers. Why isn't the team good? But they're just not. So I mean. Yeah, Baez is an interesting one. Baez is obviously electric, but I also feel like he's like a headache too. Like he's like baseball IQ is either like he's an amazing athlete, right? But doesn't he do like dumb shit? He's like not, like not the most reliable of like at bats and whatnot. I don't know. I mean, Chris Bryant really would be perfect, but I can't. I gotta recuse myself from that one because JD is my guy. So I don't know.
I also don't understand. Like, I understand, like, Baez, you could have him short and then move him to third when Lindor comes back. But at the same point, like, do we really need to, like, shore up shortstop? Because, like, I'm more than fine, even though that was a nightmare on Monday. I was fine with Guillorme and VR playing short. Like, those guys are fine there.
That was a weird fucking game. That's not going to happen again. Bench Mob has been doing it all year. I don't understand why we have to, like, sound the alarm and go do something rash now because – they've been all right all year, so don't mortgage the future.
I will never recover trading Melvin Mora for Mike Bordick. And I know Melvin Mora he was my guy. That was my 1999 guy. He always looked like he was crying.
He was batting 360 with the Orioles, right?
Yeah.
It's insane.
I loved Melvin Moore, and I hated Mike Bordick from the jump. And then he had that huge error in the World Series that it was like almost felt like fate. And it was like, well, there it is, Mike Bordick. So, yeah, I guess the deadline. Well, obviously we'll have a pod after the deadline if anything happens on the 31st or beforehand. But I think
we'll have one more. We'll have one more pod before the 31st, so we'll lay it all out there, and then we'll have our reactions after. But
also we got to mention Dave Joust. 10 to 12 cups of coffee a day. I know you're not a coffee guy, Kevin. And I know there's people who are like hardcore coffee guys.
If I had one cup of coffee, I'd be like shitting and wired. 12? 12?
And he said that's how he's always happy. It's like, yeah, no fucking shit. He's always happy because I'll tell you, Kev, the first time I had coffee I was only 30. It wasn't that long ago. And like, I honestly felt like I took the pill from, what is it? Limitless is the movie. Like everything just started making sense. I was working better. I felt smarter. I was like getting shit done. So I can't imagine Dave. I don't know how Dave Joust is alive right now. At this rate, he's like 64 years old.
He could be such a great batting practice pitcher too. Like you'd think he'd be all over the place, but he's dialed
fucking
in.
Neo. He sees everything in the Matrix. He's like, boom, right there. Boom, right there. And now it makes perfect sense why you could just dial it in. So no more greenies, no more juice, no more sticky stuff, but just load yourself up with caffeine and you can do whatever the fuck you want in this world. He's a great manager. I fucking love him as a manager. He's a great soundbite.
Can he be our manager?
He feels a little Jerry Manuel-y. Everyone liked Jerry Manuel as like the bench coach, and then like Willie got fired, and then it was like, fucking Jerry Manuel. What are you doing?
I mean, Rojas has been Rojas used to be like he would be the bane of my existence early on. And then he kind of earned like I don't think he's great, but anybody who's involved in this team staying together and still being up deserves some credit in my book. So he's not the one to blame. But I also don't think he's like is he the guy for like the foreseeable future? Give me Dave Joust.
I'll tell you, man. I saw a thing the other day, and they were talking about the Red Sox, and they said how Cora learned everything he learned from Beltran, and I'm like, holy shit! I think we might have had like a great potential manager here that was really good. He might have got into some serious shit.
Let's not close the door on that. Then it's not like someone else went and scooped him up, put a little distance between the cheating scandal. Steve Cohen comes along and says, never mind, we'll take it back. Who knows? Anything could happen. It could happen, all right?
If anyone could find a place to put sticky stuff that can't be traced by the umpires, I feel like it might be Carlos Beltran. Beltran!
He put it behind his mole and just be like, let's go. All right. Continue to believe. Bounce back was big. The sky started to fall. Half the sky fell. Half the sky's still up there. You got to believe.
Gotta believe.